Proton, a company known for its email, VPN services, and many more services that are privacy-centric, has made waves recently, letting people know that they are launching a Bitcoin wallet. Well, today we're going to take a look at Proton Wallet, how to set up and use it, as well as kind of tinker around and see what's under the hood. I am Ben with the BTC Sessions. This is your daily session.
HODL the Bitcoin.
Bitcoin Well is on a mission to enable independence by being one of the easiest and quickest ways to purchase Bitcoin in Canada and the US. And the best part about it, every buy goes directly into your own self-custody. They never hold your coins. You can add a Bitcoin address as part of onboarding. There's a transparent 1% spread, no hidden fees, no withdrawal fees. Plus they have KYC free sells and bill payments on their website. They're also a publicly traded company under the ticker BTCW on the TSXV. Check them out over at bitcoinwell.com. Check out my full tutorial on how to use them, and you can check out the links in the show notes down below and sign up today. CoinKite.com has some of the best hardware on the market today to secure your Bitcoin. The Cold Card Q is an absolute powerhouse and is my daily driver. And on top of this, they have plenty of other goodies, including the Mark IV, the Tap Signer, Open Dimes, the Block Clock, and much more. If you head over to their website, make sure you use code BTC Sessions at checkout to get a nice discount. Links are in the show notes down below. So let's start by talking prerequisites. What are you going to need to know in order to successfully navigate this tutorial? Well, I'm coming at this tutorial from a place of general knowledge in and around Bitcoin, aka this is kind of geared towards people that are quasi-familiar with how to send and receive Bitcoin. I will explain a couple things in a basic sense. So if you haven't used a Bitcoin wallet before, then you can still watch this through. There may be a few terms that you don't recognize, but it should give you a general idea of how things work. What I will say is that you should be in a position where you are familiar with how to obtain Bitcoin. And so I won't be covering that in this tutorial itself. However, usually if I'm pointing people towards something, Bitcoin Well is an option in Canada and the US where you can obtain Bitcoin. Otherwise, you can check out jurisdictionally with a quick Google search as to what is available to you. Now, of course, we're going to be using Proton. You're going to need a Proton account in order to access Proton Wallet. Furthermore, it is early days and currently Proton Wallet is invite only. So I managed to get my hands on an invite. However, this will be open up to general public, I would guess relatively soon. They're probably bug testing and seeing how things work with a smaller group before opening that up. But I will also be sending to and from another Bitcoin wallet on my desktop, and this one is called Sparrow Wallet. It's a bit more of an advanced interface. I won't be doing anything fancy with it, just sending and receiving, but I will have a full tutorial for that one in the show notes down below as well. Outside of that, you're not going to need any other prerequisite knowledge. So where do you get Bitcoin? Some familiarity with general Bitcoin wallets, and you should be fine. And yeah, with that, let's take a look. We're going to go straight to the interface and see what setup looks like. All right, so here I am on the main screen to initialize a Proton wallet. And the first thing it's going to ask me is to set up a default currency. I've selected USD. Even though I'm in Canada, I tend to default to USD as my unit of account there. It does give you the option to either create a new wallet or import a wallet, but we're going to be creating one brand new here. So hit create new wallet. Welcome to Proton Wallet. This is a self-custodial Bitcoin wallet, meaning that any BTC you buy or receive will be fully controlled by you. Not even Proton can seize your assets. To avoid losing assets due to forgetting your password or other access issues, back up your Proton recovery phrase and wallet seed phrase. Bitcoin via email lets other Proton users send BTC to you using your email. And this one I've set up with my Bitcoin Mentor email, ben@bitcoinmentor.io. You can change this in the wallet settings. So I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. And we are bumped to the main page of our wallet. And let's take a look at what's in front of us. So just getting our bearings here, up top, we have the account name of our wallet, along with a settings wheel, which gives us access to renaming the wallet, changing our unit, which units, 1 Bitcoin, there are 100 million sats. I tend to like sats, so I'm going to change that right now. Again, you can have various accounts here, so it allows us to name a particular account. Right now, it just gives you primary account. You can change that if you like by clicking on it or hitting delete account if you want to get rid of that one. Down below, again, it tells us our local currency that we've selected. You can change here, and Bitcoin via email. You can receive via email that way. If I go to view more, this is where we see view wallet seed phrase, delete wallet, clear browser storage. All of that stuff is available here. Also on the main screen, you have all accounts and a total amount in the local currency you've chosen. And just below that, the amount of sats that you have. You can also blank that out if you don't want that up on the screen. Below that, you have a price chart of Bitcoin over the past 24 hours and a US dollar price or local currency price, percent change over the past 24 hours as well. Send, receive, and buy Bitcoin from within the application. And below here, it's empty right now, but this will be a list of prior transactions coming into or going out of the wallet. You can refresh that, or you can organize them based on when they happened, either chronological from the beginning to end or reverse. Now, up in the top right, it says secure your wallet. And by clicking on that, it gives you a couple important things to do. Number one, back up the wallet seed phrase, as we saw in the settings wheel, or back up, and I should say, and back up your Proton account data. It will also prompt you to set up two-factor authentication, which obviously I already have on this account. And down below, it also has a discover section with a whole bunch of information about Bitcoin. Beside that, you also have the ability to invite people. Obviously, I'm filming this early days of Proton Wallet. It is still invite only. So you are able to do that. Eventually, this will just be accessible to all. Let's jump over to the left-hand side. Of course, you have your other Proton services, mail, calendar, drive, VPN, passwords, all that stuff. You can do the drop-down. You can do a drop down for other accounts here, email accounts. You can add accounts and everything like that. You can add a new wallet with a new currency. And so wallets and accounts are different. So a wallet will be an entirely new seed phrase, whereas an account will be an account underneath the same seed phrase. Okay, so your Bitcoin wallet. Your seed phrase is another way of saying the keys to your money. And so you could imagine it like if you have a single maybe bank account or something like that with certain credentials, and under that bank account, you would have multiple sub accounts. So like checkings and savings and, accounts for different purposes. But adding a new wallet would be an entirely different bank account with a different entity, not with a different entity, but with a different set of keys to access. Okay, so that is the difference there. Again, we have our wallet, and underneath it, the accounts separated as we see fit. Down bottom left, again, you have that discover section with all the information about Bitcoin. You have user settings, which will take you to your general Proton user settings, passwords, 2FA, all of that. Of course, then you have contact support and sign out of your account. And that's pretty much it. So, of course, we want to make sure everything is secure. So we should probably tackle the first couple things on secure your wallet and go from there. All right, so first we're going to go and back up this wallet seed phrase. So I'm going to click on that and ask me to enter my password for Proton Wallet or my Proton account. And so I will do that first and we'll jump ahead. Now this gives us the your keys, your coins, or as Bitcoiners will also often say, not your keys, not your coins warning. So wallet seed phrase encode the private key that controls your digital assets, aka your Bitcoin. These 12 words should only be used to recover the assets of this wallet as a last resort, such as if you lose access to your Proton account, never give them to anyone else. Proton will never ask you for them. Write them down carefully and hide them in a safe place. And you can hit view wallet seed phrase. It will now reveal to me my 12 words and I will keep careful track of them and take a physical copy, not digital. I'm not going to screenshot. I'm not going to do anything like that. I'm just going to do a physical copy on paper, on steel, whatever you prefer, and then we will come back. So I made note of my 12 words and hit done, and the screen went away, and I now have a little cross through back up this wallet seed phrase. Now, there was no verification. It didn't make me retype them or verify a few of the words or anything like that. I think that would be a good feature to add, but hey, at least I got my seed phrase. Moving on, back up your Proton account data. If I click on this, then again, it takes me to my Proton account and it will make sure that I have everything that I need here. Obviously, make sure I have my password and all my login info. So I think that's it. Now it does give me option to install Proton Wallet on mobile as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get that on mobile as well. And we'll take a peek on it after we get it set up here on desktop. So again, after looking at the backup your Proton account data, I don't know exactly what it's expecting me to do there. It just kind of bumps me to my Proton settings and credentials. So yeah, I'm not sure how to get rid of that check. It just takes me here. And so either way, I think that's pretty much all I need to do here. Yeah, and now we can get started with the wallet. All right, so first things first, let's try receiving some funds into this wallet. So just on the main screen here, we're going to go ahead, we're going to hit receive, and this will serve us up a Bitcoin address. Now, Bitcoin address is presented in two ways. There is a QR code presented that anybody could scan with a Bitcoin wallet. There's also a Bitcoin address presented as text down below, which can be copied by hitting the copy Bitcoin address button. So anybody present could scan this, but alternatively, I can copy and paste this into a message, email, whatever I like, and send it off to anybody, and they would have everything they need to send me Bitcoin. It also gives me the option to generate a new address, and it's advisable to use a new address every single time that you do a transaction. If I'm not mistaken, after we receive to this address, it will cycle in a new one for us automatically. But if you give away this address to somebody you know is going to pay you, and you want to give away an address to somebody else or want to receive another transaction, that's where that generate new address button comes in handy. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to send over some money from another wallet I have on my computer. So I'm going to hit copy Bitcoin address. I'll make note of the last few digits, KREU2, and the first few is BC1Q998. Okay, just kind of keep that in my head there. And so here's a tutorial wallet. This is Sparrow Wallet. I will link to a tutorial on this down below. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to hit send, and I'm going to paste in that address that I just copied. The first and last few digits look the same, so we're good to go. I'll give it a label. So for my own records, I know where I sent funds. And then I'm going to send the max amount here. And other than that, we're just going to set our fee. I'll just bump it just a little bit. That looks good. We'll hit create transaction, finalize it, and we'll broadcast it off. So out it goes, out of my wallet. we can see that my balance is updated to 0 sats. And we'll jump over to Proton here. And I'll just make note of the last few digits here, KEU2. And we'll see if that cycles a new one after we have received. So we'll just hit this little refresh button and see if it detects that transaction yet. Okay, there we go. So we can see a transaction. It says received and it's in progress. The reason it says in progress is because typically Bitcoin transactions take in and around 10 minutes to be confirmed, to be officially added to Bitcoin's ledger. But we can see it on its way in here. It says sender unknown because it was not sent from another Proton account or anything like that. But it also allows us to add notes to our transactions, which is a good idea, I would say. So I'm going to hit add and I'll just say tutorial and I'll save that note. So if you know where funds are coming from, it's a good idea to have little notes for yourself, although looks like it's not quite saving at the moment. And if I click on the transaction itself, it will bring up a little sidebar as well. Again, the address it's going to, if I know the person as a contact and they sent an email, then it would show there. Status is in progress, and I can give a note, and I'll do tutorial here, and I'll hit save. Now, it doesn't want to seem to save those. Maybe it's because it's still in progress. And if I hit view more, let's see, it lets me know what the network fee was. So what the sender paid to send the transaction. And then it says the total amount sent plus the fee. So it just gives me a little bit more visibility into what's going on. I can also hit view on blockchain, and this, Proton has its own block explorer. That's interesting. So this lets us know even more stuff about the transaction here. So it says it's currently unconfirmed. ETA is in around 3 blocks. Transaction fees were 5.5 sats per VByte. How much data was there? Lots of specifics here. And it even lets me see the flow of the chunks of Bitcoin, the UTXOs that were sent and what was received. So yeah, awesome. Proton. This looks very similar to Blockstream's Block Explorer, and I'm wondering if there was some cooperation there to put this together. Nonetheless, back to the wallet. What we'll do is we'll wait for this to fully confirm, and then we will see if we can add notes and do anything else with it. All right, so we now have officially received, or the transaction has been officially confirmed on the Bitcoin blockchain. We see our balance updated in US dollars up top, as well as the number of sats we have, which is around 200,000. The in progress bar is now gone, and it just says received and gives us a time. And again, if I click, let's see if we can add a note now. Tutorial, I'll try to save that. And yes, okay, so that was it. You can add a note after confirmation. And so now we are good to go. Fantastic. So we've received our funds. Everything is ready. Now, naturally, we also want to test being able to send from the wallet. But I want to send in 2 different ways. I want to try sending to a Bitcoin address, but I also want to try sending to an email address. And so in order to do that, what I'd like to do is I'm going to send an invite to another Proton account that I have so that I can transact between them and see what it looks like on both ends there. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to click on my invites, and I'll send it to my BTC sessions at protonmail.com email address. Okay, so that has been sent, and I'll just go ahead and hit close. And yeah, we should be good to go. I'll open up that in another window and we'll see what happens. And so this is my other inbox here. I'll click on that invite email. Okay. It says Ben at bitcoinmentor.io invited you to Proton Wallet early access. All right, we're going to go ahead and start using Proton Wallet. And this should bump us to the same screen that we saw initially in the other wallet so that we can be set up. Yeah, exactly. So again, just choose the currency, hit create new wallet. And we should be off to the races. Continue. And there we go. Okay, obviously I'll back up the seed phrase and everything, but we're now ready to be able to receive funds. All right, so first let's actually try sending to a Bitcoin address. So I'm going to open up that previous wallet there. We'll minimize the Proton Mail for now. And so I just need a receiving address that I'm going to be sending to. And so I'm going to get an address here, and we'll just call this Proton Test. And I'm just going to copy it. So this would be an address provided to me by anybody, and I would access my wallet. I would go to send, and I would paste in the address I had been sent. Okay, fantastic. So I can now hit the enter button. And so that is added, and I can hit confirm. And so how much would I like to send? I have the option to send all, or I can specify an amount, or I can specify an amount of Bitcoin. Specifically there, I wonder if they have sats. That would be convenient. Yep, they do. Absolutely. So what? I've got around 200,000 sats here. So let's send half of it, 100,000 sats. Perfect. Okay, so we can, by the way, add additional recipients just to show you. I could paste in another address and then designate what's going where. But for now, we'll leave it as is. I wish they had sats actually up near the top. That would be convenient as well. But nonetheless, yeah, change that. 100,000, so that's about $67. We'll hit review. All right. Okay, good. It does give me options for the network fee as well. So when I click on that, I basically have the options for high, medium, and low priority. I wonder if this is supposed to populate with a certain amount. Let's test a couple. Okay, 562. All right, well, let's keep it high priority. So I don't see an option to manually choose your network fees, but at least you have high, medium, and low. That's good. And it lets us know the total amount plus the fee. So 100,843 sats. I can add a note for myself. Back to Sparrow. I confirm. And all that looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and say confirm and send. Your Bitcoin is on the way. Your transaction has been broadcast to the Bitcoin network. It may take around 1 hour for the network to confirm the transaction. I think they're just ballparking it there. While you're waiting, invite your family and friends to Proton. Okay, great. We'll hit done there. Again, I can click on the transaction. It does have a note already, so I guess it's just receiving that they make you wait to save a note. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I can view more, and I can, again, view it on the blockchain here, and it lets me know roughly how long it's going to take. Now, I do want to show you the difference here in something. So let's go back to transactions. So here's that incoming transaction here in Proton. If I look in the details, it gives me the option to view it in a block explorer called mempool.space. This one actually shows you in the queue. So I can see that I should be next. At some point in the next 10 minutes, it should confirm. Yeah, but I just wanted to kind of show the difference between different block explorers. Nonetheless, that's all sent, and we'll be back when it's all confirmed. All right, we now have a confirmation on the outgoing transaction as well. And a couple things that I do notice here that when you do click on the transaction when it's in progress, there's no option to bump the fee. Like if you choose a low fee and it's not going through quickly, that's not yet an option within the wallet. The other thing I noticed, because I did get the mobile app, is that on the mobile app, it will kind of update and show when the transaction is confirmed automatically. But here I actually am hitting refresh in the browser to reload the browser and accurately show whether or not the transaction has gone through. So again, just a little bit of tinkering and kind of seeing if there's certain things that, given it's a new wallet, may be updates over time. Nonetheless, we've sent one transaction, but let's try sending an email transaction. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to hit send, and we're going to send it over to my, my other Proton mail. All right, so we're just going to type in my BTC sessions at protonmail.com. We'll hit enter here, and it will be entered there. Just know that if it's a relatively new account, I was tinkering around and I had just signed up for the wallet and it was saying that I didn't have an available Bitcoin address to send to, whereas now it's showing properly. So, give it, 10, 15 minutes or something of having created the account, and then it will be able to pull a destination address. So anyways, that's all good. I'm going to go ahead and hit confirm. I'll just leave it as US dollars because I'm going to hit send all. And other than that, we're good. We'll hit review. It now shows, okay, it's going to BTC sessions at protonmail.com. Network fee of 30 cents or 438 sats. I'm going to, I'll bump that to high priority. And notice now actually it is showing amounts here, 33 cents or 492 sats for high. And it shows me a range for medium and low. Okay, so that looks good. I can also add a message. So I can say something like, hey, enjoy the sats, or whatever I see fit. We'll do that. And a private note to myself. And I'll just say self transfer. Sure. Leave that as a little note there. Okay, perfect. And I'll hit confirm and send. Okay, your Bitcoin is on its way. Your transaction has been broadcast to the Bitcoin network. It may take around 1 hour. So same message as before. I'll go ahead, hit done. And now you can see in the note here to BTC sessions at protonmail.com. So when it's sent, it will just put in whatever information it has. When it's incoming, it will likely show as the email address that it was sent from if the person is using Proton. And let's actually jump back here and I'll refresh my other Proton Mail or Proton Wallet account. And okay, yes, and there we go. Here in the receiving side, we see it's in progress, but we actually see from the email that it came from and the note. And I can click on that and again, add additional notes myself on the receiving end. And again, all of the relevant information is there. I can view it on the blockchain. Nonetheless, that worked just fine, actually pretty smooth. And flash forward, you can see everything is now confirmed on the sender side and on the receiver side. So that seems to have gone off without a hitch. DEBIFI.com allows you to borrow against your Bitcoin in a non-custodial way. Collateral is held in a 3 of 4 distributed multi-sig with trusted parties. It provides institutional liquidity providers, loan periods of up to 5 years with flexible conditions and the best rates. And best of all, no rehypothecation of your funds. If you want to check them out today, head over to DEBIFI.com or hit the link in the show notes down below. Speed Wallet is a Bitcoin Lightning wallet built with simplicity in mind. Spend and receive with ease, claim your own Lightning address, shop your favorite gift cards, and even earn rewards when you spend. Head over to speed.app to download the app on your mobile or desktop today and use the link down below to get 5,000 sats for free and have the chance to win even more. So let's really quick take a look at adding accounts and additional wallets here. So I'm going to do a couple things here. So let's first add an account under my wallet. So we have the primary account. If we click on that, we're looking at that right now. If I hit add account, then I can name it whatever I want. Well, I'll just leave it as account 2. And I do have some options in settings. It gives me the option for the address type that I want. I'm just going to leave it as native SegWit. It also lets us know the index. So if you're unfamiliar with indexes, basically this is just how they do the sub accounts with the same seed phrase that we previously got. But if you want to get specific with that or customize it, you can. I would just leave this be and let it pull the next account in line. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit create wallet account. So now what I have is I have the primary account, which will have a wallet history with a balance or not because I just sent it all out. But if I go to account 2, there is no transactions yet. This is a new account governed by the same set of keys that governs the primary account as well. Okay, so they're just segregated accounts with the same seed phrase. So that is one instance of having separate accounts within this wallet here, but I can also add a new wallet, which would be a totally different seed phrase. So if I hit create new wallet, I can give a name. We'll just call it test, and I can set it for USD. And it does give me the option to add a passphrase. Just so you know, a passphrase, whatever you type here, it could be anything, letters, numbers, symbols, anything at all. The passphrase creates an entirely new wallet based on the passphrase you enter. So if I type in 1234, then that will create a totally separate wallet than just the regular seed phrase. If the next time I go to access it, I type in 12345, it won't tell me the passphrase is wrong. It will lead me to a wallet that is pertaining to the new passphrase. So any combination of digits will lead to a new wallet, and only by entering the same combination of digits will you get to the same wallet. So just be aware of that if you're using a passphrase. I'm going to leave that blank for now. I'm just going to hit create new wallet. Great. So now what you see is I have two different wallets here. I have my wallet and then I have test. And test here, this wallet itself, I can go into the settings. I can say view more, and I can say view wallet seed phrase, and that will be different from the original 12 words for the original account, the my wallet one that we set up. Now, by email, it is not defaulted on for this. And I believe that pertains to the fact that your email address has to be designated for a specific wallet. So right now it's already designated for my wallet up here, and the test one is a new one. And so if somebody's trying to send to me, it can't really go anywhere yet unless I designate an email address for this particular wallet. So anyways, I'm actually going to delete this wallet. I'm not going to leave it in there. So I'm just going to enter my password, and it does ask for 2FA before you fully delete. And then ask one final time, are you sure you want to delete? Do you want to copy the seed phrase or delete now? I will delete the wallet now. Okay, perfect. Now I'm back to my single wallet with two sub accounts here. Now I also want to show the idea of importing a wallet into Proton Wallet from a seed phrase. So I'm going to hit the plus sign with wallets. I'm going to choose import wallet. I'll name it. I'm going to import my tutorial wallet, which is the one in Sparrow that I pulled up. We'll keep it as USD. And then it gets me to just type in my seed phrase, which I'll do, but I won't record that part. All right, so I typed in my 12-word seed phrase from my tutorial wallet, and it is it's a wallet that I've used obviously a bunch for various testing and all of that. All I had to do was enter it, all 12 words with just a space between each, no caps, nothing like that, and then hit import. And it appears to have done so. Now, the one odd thing that I'll say here is that it doesn't show a wallet history, and it is showing me an error when it goes to try and sync right here. See, an error occurred. But I wanted to see if it was indeed the same wallet. So I hit receive, and I'm looking at this address here. It ends with F8AZ. And when I look at my addresses here in Sparrow, I can see that address. So I can tell that it is indeed the correct wallet. It's just not pulling my wallet history. And because of that, it appears to be pulling from earlier addresses that may have already been utilized. And I can even actually copy that address and we'll go and look up that address. And yeah, I can see that address I guess I was probably doing a tutorial on CoinJoin at the time, but I can see that address pertains to, a test transaction that I had previously done. So yeah, so that's not ideal. If you're importing a wallet, you would want it to scan previous transactions, make sure that it's still queuing up unused Bitcoin addresses instead of queuing you up with a previously used one here. So just be aware of that. And hopefully that's something that will be fixed in future iterations as Proton, gets this thing out the door. Of course, again, it's still in testing phase and it's still invite only. So hopefully by the time it's open to public, that will be fixed. Now, similarly to the idea of importing a wallet that already existed into Proton, we could actually export our wallet and put it into something like Sparrow. So if I go File, New Wallet, and we'll call it Proton, I'll hit Create Wallet. I'm going to say New or Imported, and I have 12 words. I'm going to type those in here, and then I'll hit Create Key Store. And with those all typed in, I'm going to hit Import Key Store, Apply. I'm not going to leave a password here. And it should scan for any previous transactions and populate them back on the main transaction screen. So we'll just jump here. There we go. So we can see the original incoming transaction and the two that we sent out. And our transaction history is here, as well as all of our addresses to be able to send and receive. So this is the same wallet that is sitting here within Proton. Now, we did have two accounts. So we're seeing the primary account, right? How would we access the next account? Well, within Sparrow, once again, you can go down to Settings, Add Account, and it gives you a list you can customize here. But we'll just do account number 1. We'll hit OK, and that should populate momentarily. There were no transactions for that particular account, so we won't see a history here, but we should be able to check the address. So we'll hit Receive. It ends in UNT4. So account 2, we'll hit Receive. And it does serve me up a different address here, so that's odd. MNG. Well, let's look at our addresses. Oh, it's the second one. Okay. Interesting. I guess it skipped over that first one for some reason. All right. Well, either way, we know it's the same. We know it's the same account either way. And it's a functioning wallet. So there we go. And we have it in two different interfaces. Now, the mobile version of Proton Wallet, it looks much the same, just in the mobile form factor. The one thing that I did notice here is under Secure Your Wallet and back up your Proton account, it actually gives you the option of how to do that. It took me to a weird place when you're on desktop, but if I enable that, then again, I can enter a password and a 2FA, and then I can get my recovery phrase there as well. So I'll leave that for now, but just so you know, that is accessible from mobile. And other than that, pretty much everything is the same. I have my history here. There's a little sandwich board off to the side. I can see my primary and account number 2 that I created. And I do see my tutorial wallet as well. I guess that didn't update. So maybe... Let's see if I can even go into it, because I did delete it. Okay, yeah, so there we go. It just hadn't updated. All right, so if we go here, yeah, even on restart, it's still there. So that's odd. Again, early days, maybe just a bug, but it would be good to have these kind of sync across mobile and desktop and reflect accurately. I thought maybe because I hadn't closed it down, and then reopen. But yeah, upon reopen, it appears to be trying to load. Oh, if I go to primary account, it shows. Okay, there we go. All accounts. Yeah, so I guess, again, just cross-platform or cross-interface. It just has a little bit of trouble, but again, now it's letting me go into that tutorial wallet. So clearly when you are utilizing Proton Wallet, there is your seed phrase is associated with your login credentials for Proton, meaning your email address, password, and two-factor authentication. They are explicitly tied. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to log into your Proton account on mobile and see the same wallet. You'd have to manually import a seed phrase. But it's important to note that also stands true for importing a seed phrase. It becomes tied to your credentials. So it must be held somewhere. And what I'm seeing here is that even though I deleted it on the desktop application in my browser, it still remains in the mobile wallet. And so I think that then means that I would have to delete it on both, which I'm going to do now. And at this point, it asks for a password and 2FA. Okay, so I went through the delete process. It's no longer there. Yeah, so it looks like whatever devices you have Proton loaded on, it's a manual delete process for each one. Yeah, so just be aware of that. I'm not saying it's a positive or a negative. Cases could be made for both, but just be aware that if you truly want that wallet done, you got to delete it on both. And yeah, okay. So some final thoughts here in and around Proton Wallet. Number one, it is, I would say, very newbie friendly. It'll be easy for individuals to onboard, and the interface isn't too complex where I believe it would scare anybody away. So I think it's a good kind of gateway into Bitcoin, and the fact that it's also paired with an existing Proton account, that's helpful. But it does still give you self-custody. Now, obviously, throughout the course of tinkering around with this for the first time and testing things, I found plenty of things that I would like added. I found plenty of things that may just be early stage bugs and everything. And so, you know, I'm not going to fault Proton for any little things that I found in there, but I do have a bit of a wish list of things that I'd love to see fixed or added or eventually implemented here. So first up, I want to address privacy because, again, Proton is known as a privacy-centric company. And so when it comes to the privacy of Proton Wallet, it really falls to the Bitcoin network in general as it works and what tools they've implemented here. And again, being early days, I understand that there's not a lot of advanced things in there that could have aided with privacy because on-chain Bitcoin transactions are not inherently private. And it's relatively simple to begin painting a picture of who owns what if they associate addresses that they own publicly, or if they go to an online exchange and then send to another wallet, or if you send to another person. There are ways that you can kind of look at the Bitcoin blockchain and begin to paint a picture of what somebody owns. And that's just inherent to Bitcoin. You know, adding privacy features like CoinJoin would be fantastic. And in the documentation, they had looked at doing that, but then Samurai Whirlpool got shut down. And so I guess that is just entirely on the back burner if it ever gets implemented. I do hope some form of on-chain privacy technique is eventually added to this, though. That would be very much on brand with Proton. Now, in terms of some low-hanging fruit that I would love to see added here to Proton Wallet, number one would be custom fees. So we saw options for low, medium, and high fees, but it would be great to actually go in and be able to say, I want X number of sats per byte and just input that manually. That'd be great. Another thing that I would love to see added, and I kind of think that this is a bit of a must at this point, and that is RBF and child pays for parent. RBF being replaced by fee, child pays for parent. Both of these are in and around effectively bumping transactions when you set too low of a fee, or when somebody sends you a transaction with too low of a fee. Without them, you don't really have much recourse when it comes to a transaction that is not yet confirmed, because the wallet itself does not let you spend unless it's confirmed, unless it's fully settled. And so RBF, what that would look like in practice is if you sent out a transaction and it said that it was still still processing, you could then click on that transaction. There'd be a little button that says something like bump fee, and then you could set that as you see fit. So I'd like to see that. And same thing with child pays for parent. That would mean that you received a transaction that is taking a long time to confirm because of a previously set low fee by somebody else that was sending to you. And it would allow you to spend those Bitcoin regardless and pay a fee that would help subsidize the cheaper fee that was paid by the person who sent to you. So both of those things I think are very, very important to have in any Bitcoin wallet nowadays, especially because fees can be unpredictable. So very important to see those added, I would say. Now, the other thing that I think would be very much in line with privacy and Proton would be adding in UTXO management. And this centers around every time you receive a transaction, it's not just that you have a straight balance in your wallet. You actually, it's more like cash. It's like if you receive a $20 bill and a 10 and a 5, when you look into your wallet, you can actually see those pieces of currency. And it's the same with Bitcoin. You can see chunks of Bitcoin sitting in the wallet. You can label them according to where they came from. And those can be looked at externally from other people that maybe sent them to you. And they can see where those coins go next. And so if you don't have good labeling, and if you can't even see the UTXOs in your wallet, then you can unintentionally hurt your own privacy. So adding UTXO management would be key. The other privacy related thing that I think would be important is right now, by default, when you send a transaction from your Proton wallet, you're going to be utilizing Proton's own Bitcoin node. And so a node is a copy of all the existing transactions in Bitcoin's history, as well as the rules that govern the network. And when you go to send a transaction, it has to go through a node. And so Proton, running a node or running a series of nodes, I imagine, would then be receiving the transaction from you to then relay, which means that they would gain insight into the transactions you're sending and receiving and wallet balances. And this is true of if you're not running your own node as well, even if you're just using a different Bitcoin wallet. So what I would love to see out of Proton is the option to, one, choose a different public node, or two, link your own Bitcoin node if you have one running. Those, I think, would be very important. Now, the other thing that I would also really like to see is support for layer 2s. And so what I mean is regular Bitcoin transactions at times can be slower and more expensive. And moving forward, I think will be primarily used for larger amounts. So seeing the integration of Lightning Network, perhaps Liquid Network, perhaps some form of eCash on top of Bitcoin like Cashew or Fedimints. I think all of those would be very attractive, especially when it comes to some of the privacy preserving aspects of those various networks. I think that would be absolutely key. Of course, that takes a lot of effort and time to implement those, and it has to be done in a conscientious way. So hopefully we'll see that down the line from Proton, but obviously they're just kind of getting started here. The other thing would be to add support potentially for hardware. That would be great. What we saw is obviously it's a self-custodial wallet, meaning that you have the keys to your money, but those keys are allocated to your Proton account as well. And it would seem that they're, I guess, encrypted on Proton servers, and they could potentially be accessed if somebody were to be able to hack into your account. Of course, they would need your password and your 2FA there. But nonetheless, it might be very beneficial to individuals that start using Proton if they then also had a conduit to be able to use hardware to secure their keys offline instead of via Proton. I think that would be fantastic. The other thing that I would like to see is in their communications on X as they announced this, they seem to be very Bitcoin centric. And I guess the only note that I'll say there is I hope it continues that direction. It would be a shame if the Proton wallet got bogged down with a whole bunch of different, we'll just say speculative other coins that may not benefit users. I like their approach thus far. They seem to be leaning hard into just Bitcoin. And yeah, I hope that doesn't get diluted over time. The other thing that I wanted to mention, and I did already kind of focus on it when I hit this moment in the video, but proper imports of previously used wallets is a key. And so obviously that was an error, that was a bug, and it didn't properly scan the wallet history. And unfortunately that would have caused a lot of issue with privacy had that been an important wallet and had I then received Bitcoin to that previously used address. So hopefully that bug gets fixed ASAP as well. And we continue to see more and more work coming out of the Proton team. But nonetheless, I think in general, this is a positive development. I think that the Proton team they appear to have some good intentions in and around this. They've obviously worked hard to provide other privacy preserving tools for people around the world. And I hope that they continue to put in the work here with Proton Wallet, build upon it, take suggestions from others, and implement things that can assist in privacy as much as possible in and around Bitcoin, while also keeping an eye to security. But I'm curious what you think with Proton Wallet so far. What would you like to see them add? What do you like? What do you not like? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, please do like, subscribe, and share all those things. They help a ton getting this content in front of more eyeballs. If you want to help the show in another way, you can hit up the previously mentioned sponsors in the show notes down below. And if you've been perusing through the tutorials on the channel and they're helpful, but they're not quite scratching that itch for you, you need some additional help, some extra hand-holding as you navigate Bitcoin, well, you can reach out over at bitcoinmentor.io. And this is a company I helped co-found, and we've put together an excellent team of Bitcoin educators that can help you through anything and everything that you need to do in Bitcoin, whether it be key management, hot and cold wallets, multisig, running a node, lightning, liquid, other layer 2s, anything that you need to accomplish, we can give you a hand. So again, head over to bitcoinmentor.io. You can go ahead and book a free 15-minute session to figure out exactly what you need. And if you think it's the right fit, then you can move forward with your own one-on-one sessions. Anyways, with that, I am out. Have yourselves a wonderful day or evening, wherever you may be. I'll see you guys next time for your daily session.
HODL the Bitcoin.